All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Monday evening, the second half of a back-to-back of KnicksFanTV Lives. We got our guy Bailey Lau back in the building for another edition of KFTV's Court Vision. On today's show, you guys asked for it, man. We are going to break down Tyler Kolek week in review. We're going to look at some of the high points for the creator as Bailey breaks it all down, man. So hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys are following Bailey on Twitter at BaileyLiao1, BaileyLiao1 on Twitter X. All right, salute to our franchise channel members. Let's get into it. All right, man, how we feeling, bro?
Good. Always good to be here.
Yeah, man, likewise. 8 games left. Dog days of the season. We got a little interesting point guard battle going on. Battle of the backups. So, what's been your overall, thoughts on Tyler now that we see him up with the big leagues a little bit more?
Yeah, I think he looks good. I honestly don't think he's going to play much in the playoffs, but I also think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think this is a stretch of the season where you can kind of see what you have and see if this is the direction you want to go in next year with a backup point guard. And I think he's been good in the role he's been given, and that should extend to next year as well.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Certainly serviceable in the backup guard spot. He's got a ways to go, but I think he'll get there. He certainly has the IQ. He's got the smarts to get it done offense, to get it done from a playmaking standpoint, but we'll see how everything else rounds out, man. So where do you want to take us first on?
Yeah, let's get into it. So I want to first start with just kind of like the pick and roll situations, the various pick and roll situations that he kind of goes through. So as I run this first clip, here is against the Wizards, and the Wizards here are actually going to trap Kolek, which is just not really what you want to do against a rookie guard who hasn't really played to this point of the season. But from the offensive side of the ball, from the Knicks point of view, you want to see him kind of make the right decision here and make a timely decision, especially because it's something that he's probably not expecting as well. So you're going to just see him pass it off to Mikal in the short roll. And this is a place where Mikal really succeeds, right? Because Mikal has a great mid-range jumper. He's also a fine decision maker. So as long as you get him the ball in the situation, you're probably going to score. And Kolek just does a great job of getting it out in a timely manner, just splitting the defense. And it's just a really easy bucket for Mikal, right? So you're actually going to see this a lot throughout these clips. A lot of them aren't going to be like crazy passes by Kolek, right? You're not going to see like any of the no-look, like behind the back passes or anything, but just over and over and over again, you're just going to see him consistently make the right reads. So this is from earlier in the season, but I think there's a really good example. You're going to see Sims, when he was still on the team here, set the screen for the dribble handoff. And he sets a good screen, right, which is important. But because Sims set the screen well, so Conchar is trailing this play now, and you see Kolek kind of has the advantage, like a one-step lead on Conchar, right? What that actually means is that Huff now needs to make a decision. Is he going to kind of drop further back and take away this rim run from Sims, or is he going to come up and stop Kolek on this drive, right? So while he's making this decision, the person to actually watch here is Scottie Pippen Jr., because right now Scottie Pippen Jr. is the tag defender, and what that means is his role is to kind of come down and tag Sims if Sims is open on this rim run, right? So it looks like Sims is going to be open on this rim run. So Scottie Pippen Jr. has one decision to make right here. Either he comes tag, which leaves Shamet open for the 3, or he stays on Shamet and hope Huff recovers, which allows Kolek to play 2-on-1 here, right? So Huff kind of goes to Kolek. You're going to see Scottie Pippen Jr. actually commit to Sims and tag him for just a split second. And as I roll the clip, what you want to see is during that second, you want Kolek to find Shamet, right? So watch the tag. He tags right there, which leaves Shamet open for this 3, right? So it's just making sure you're reading the right defender. Depending on what that defender does, are you just taking the action that they're giving you? There's another clip from a game against the Jazz earlier, and it's kind of the same setup where your tag defender is now Jordan Clarkson, and you just want Kolek to make this read, right? So here, as Kolek snakes through the screen, you're just reading where Clarkson goes. If Clarkson kind of stays in the paint, then you know that Hart's going to be open. If Clarkson goes out to Hart, then you know that you have an open layup. So if I'm the Jazz, I'm probably having Clarkson kind of sit in the paint and just let Hart shoot or let Hart be open for a three. Clarkson actually not going to do that here. I also think this might be the game that Hart made a ton of threes, so maybe it was their scheme to kind of like not come off Hart that much. But whatever the case, as soon as you see Clarkson start to leave, Precious is going to actually re-screen. It's not going to be on Bryce. It's actually going to be a Flipkowski. But as you see right here, Clarkson's kind of leaning towards Hart already. At this point, you already know that you have an open layup, right? So Kolek just does a good job of taking that lane and just finishing with his left hand. Now back to the Mavs. This game it's similar to the other pick and roll situations, except in this example now, you actually have two tag defenders. And what that means is your help on this cat roll can come from either Najee Marshall or Klay Thompson, right? So Najee can kind of like sit a little further back by the free throw line, and then he'll be able to stop Cat on the roll, or Klay Thompson can also sit in the paint and stop Cat when he gets the ball kind of further down the lane, right? But this is where, as an offense, you want to make the defense commit to something. So by having two shooters, right, by having Mikal and by having Shamet, you actually force both Najee and Klay to kind of stay closer to these shooters, which leaves Cat wide open for this roll, right? So here, as long as you drop this pass off, again, timely matter. Right now, if you get this pass off in this exact moment, there's a wide open dunk. Right now, if you're the Mavs, you can adjust this. You can have Najee kind of sit a little bit lower near the free throw line so that this isn't as open. But then you're going to give up a three to Mikal, right? So a lot of times these small decisions from the defense or the offense is trying to get the defense to commit to something where you can open up a different advantage. Here, if you're not going to give up the three, then this lane should be open a lot, as long as one, the pick is set well, and two, this pass is dropped off in a timely manner, right? So as the play develops, you see this is just good pass, short roll, easy dunk. Nothing flashy again, right read, and just delivering it on time is basically what a lot of these clips are showing, right? So this and the next play are actually the same exact play back to back. And it's pretty cool to see just because Kolek makes a different read in each of these plays. So here you're going to see Precious set the screen. And while Precious sets the screen, you're going to see an off-ball screen by OG where he sets his down screen on Hardy and then Shamet's going to curl around for a three, right? So the person to watch here is actually Hardy. And Hardy is the low man in the situation. So in this clip, the tag defender is actually Williams, who's sticking onto Payne right now. But you kind of have this low man concept where Hardy is the lowest person on the court.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Explain the low man concept and what his job is at this point.
Yeah, for sure. So since Hardy's the lowest person on the court right now, the closest to the baseline, right now in this play, it's his responsibility to help out on this pick and roll, right? So as Kolek is coming to his strong hand to his left side, Hardy should be the person there to kind of stop that trap. Now, the Knicks actually counter this by running that action that I was talking about, right? Where an OG comes and sets this down screen. Hardy's going to have to follow and chase Shamet. So Hardy's no longer going to be alone. Now, a lot of teams, when this off-ball screen is happening, they'll just switch. So a lot of teams will keep the low man, right? So in this case, Hardy just wouldn't move, and then Edwards would switch out onto Shamet. But here, the Mavs are actually not going to do that. So OG sets the screen. You're going to see Shamet curl over. And now the low man switches, right? So now Edwards, who's guarding OG, is a low man. So Shamet again comes out. Hardy has to chase Shamet. The Knicks are going to have OG reposition to the corner. And this part is going to be important because OG, when he repositions into the corner, now you're forcing Edwards, who's the low man, to make a decision. Are you going to go out to OG or are you going to stay in the paint and
protect the paint? Yep.
Right. So Kolek has the first read right now. If he sees Edwards, that just means that OG is going to be open in the corner. If Edwards goes to OG, that means Kolek is going to have an open layup, right? So Edwards actually stays on OG, and then Kolek has his second read. If he sees Powell, that means that Precious is going to be open. If Powell's not there, that means he does an open layup, right? So here, Powell commits to Kolek. Kolek just drops it off. Easy layup. So the same exact play, back to black. This is the next possession. Same exact thing, except OG's not on the court anymore. It's Anton Watson. He's going to set this down screen. So the Mavs have seen this play already, right? So now Edwards is kind of sitting in the paint. And also, he's not as worried if Watson goes to the corner for a three.
Right.
So he's more okay just being a help defender sitting in the paint and just watching this play develop. What that actually means, though, is if Watson sets this screen well And this is a concept we talk about with Hart, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing off Hart and Hart goes set to screen, if that screen is set well, then the shooter that's curling off the screen is going to get an open three
Wide
a lot
open.
of the time. So because Edwards was just manipulated in the last play to go out to OG with this exact same play, he's more conscious. Okay, I should stay in the paint. I should help on this drive so that either Kolek doesn't get an easy layup or Precious doesn't get an easy layup, right? That just means that as Watson sets a good screen, there's not a defender close to Shamet at all, right? So here you can see Shamet gets a completely wide open three and just a good read again to flip it back to Shamet, right? So a lot of these clips are just manipulating the defense, which is what the offense is doing, but also just making reads based off how the defense is reacting to the offense, to your offensive sets, right? And this is just the last clip for pick and roll that I want to show, just because this is how I would guard Kolek, right? Like, don't give him any advantages. You've at this point seen that he's good at reading situations and making the right decision. So just don't give him any advantage and just go under every single screen that's sent. Definitely don't send two, because there's no reason to send two at all.
Yeah.
But this is just what he's going to see a lot until he proves that he can make the shot. Now, this season in the G League and when he's played for the Knicks, he hasn't really hit the shot that well. I think he's under 30% in the G League on threes.
Hasn't shot well.
Yeah, but he shot well in college, so you kind of think that this probably comes back. But this is definitely the next step of his development. Like, he needs to be able to hit this shot. If your entire offense is predicated on pressing advantages and making right reads off advantages, then you want to be in a situation where defenses have to guard you with two defenders every time or go over and force someone else to help. So this is just the next progression for him. He misses this, but again, the college numbers are there, and you kind of can just project that hopefully he'll come back, and if it comes back, then he'll be a really strong contributor on the offensive side of the ball.
There you go. So in several of these, pick and roll scenarios, you're seeing how Tyler Kolek, just as a rookie, is able to execute and just making the right reads. And you saw the pocket pass to Mikal Bridges. You saw him finding Landry Shamet for the three. But then you're also seeing where in this read and react scheme where, off of one action, you've got a couple of scenarios here that you can go to and a couple of counters that you can go to, just depending all on how the defense reacts to it. And Kolek showing at very early at this stage in his career that he's able to make those right reads and just get those plays executed. But additionally, especially where you showed like the off-ball screens, everybody else has to do their job for that play to be executed well. So like you showed in the example, having a guy like Anton Watson set those screens. Well, with the starters, that could be Hart. Maybe it's Precious. Maybe it's Mitch. And this is how you get guys who aren't, the best offensive threats in the half court. This is how you make them effective as well. And so certainly a great job by Kolek there. And then, as you said, he's got to work on that three. A lot of those threes have been flat so far from Kolek. But, those will come at this early stage. But as you said, most defenses, they're going to be ducking those screens to play the drives and see where he goes from there, forcing him to take that shot.
Yeah, and that's where he gets really dangerous, right? If he can hit that pull-up, if a defender goes under, then you can become a really dangerous offensive player. So I'm hoping that develops. Again, the college numbers are there to back up that probably is there. But, yeah, we'll see what happens there.
True indeed, man. CP the franchise, Bailey Lau, KFTV Court Vision in the building. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Lawrence Smith in the chat says, off-ball screens, Knicks man told me those don't happen. Yeah, they say. Now, Bailey, some of these guys just think these guys are just out there just running and gunning loosey-goosey. No, there is a method to Tibbs' madness here, and as you see in Tyler Kolek executing.
Yeah, and to Tibbs' credit, with the Brunson injury, you've seen a more diverse offense and more things run. So, again, when Brunson comes back, that's going to be probably the key to unlocking the offense to a new level in the playoffs, is just having different avenues of attack and running different sets, which I'm very hopeful after this stretch.
There you go. Okay. All right. So what do we have here in the second set here?
Cool. So I just have two very fast clips.
Sure.
Just because there's not that many situations where Kolek is playing off ball. But when you're playing with like Mikal, with OG, with Hart, and with Cat, these are also players that can create their own advantage. So you want to be able to play off ball and just attack closeouts, right? So in this clip, it's Hart that touches the paint. He's the one that draws the advantage. Poole closes out a little too strong, and you're just going to see Kolek attack. He misses this. Again, not many clips of this, so I'm just going to show this one. But you see the confidence just driving, which is what you want to see. Not a lot of hesitation. Same thing here. McHale's the one that's creating the advantage. It draws Harden in. Harden's eyes are on McHale, sitting a little bit in the paint. You just want Kolek to get this ball and go, right? So here, gets this pass, attacks. First read is Bogdanovic. If you see him, you know that Shamit's open in the corner. Bogdanovic just reaches in, so he's not helping out there. Second read is just Zubac. If you see Zubac, you know that Precious is wide open. If you don't see Zubac, you have a wide open layup. Here, Zubac comes over and just passes it off.
Nice drop off.
Right? So I feel very comfortable that he's able to attack closeout and make the right decision. The part that you want to see more of is when he's playing off ball, how fast is he to attack gaps, to attack closeouts. But it's the same kind of situation that once he gets an advantage, you feel good that he's going to make the same situation. So it's just being able to generate that advantage off ball, which is something I want to see more of as well.
Yeah, these are ways that he's going to stay out on the court and not be a quick hook like we saw in that Clipper game. He has to be more of an offensive threat than just a passer. I mean, the passing is great, and at this early stage, he has a very high IQ and a good feel for the game. And Tibbs complimented him on how he does make those right reads. But as you said, the way that he attacks closeouts, I think developing a floater will be certainly beneficial to his game, a la Emmanuel Quickly, who didn't really have like a strong layup package, especially when he first got here. You know, the floater is going to be very key there. I mean, IQ became very lethal from floater range, and if Kolek can work on that shot plus the threes, that'll add a much more depth to his offense.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll really open up his passing as well if he's a threat to score.
That's right. That's right. All right, so what do we have in this next set here?
Cool. And then this is now just my favorite part of the segment, which is his defense.
Yeah.
And just to get it out there, it was just a lot better watching it on film than I expected coming into it. So the first thing I want to talk about on the defensive side of the ball is his screen navigation. So here you're going to see Keyshawn George get the screen. You're going to see Kolek press up against him. And you just want to see this physicality just to get the ball handler off their spots. This play, it's definitely a foul. You see him grabbing here.
Yeah.
But you kind of want to see this, right? Like, this is a lot of times what people want McHale to be doing, just using your hands more, being more aggressive. So just seeing it with Kolek is encouraging. Here he actually fouls him, fouls George. Same thing here with Dinwiddie. You're going to see Kolek here reach, get back out on Dinwiddie. Here's the first screen. He's going to push up, crowd Dinwiddie's space. And then here's a rescreen. You're going to see the same thing where he kind of gets in Dinwiddie's space to get over the screen. And this is how you get over a screen, right? You want to get skinny. You want to make it a little tough on the offensive player to make this move. And just a little contact pushing him off a spot, right? So just great screen nav again by Kolek. This ends again in a bad possession. He fouls the shooter.
Yeah.
But in terms of just a screen nav, it's pretty clean. Like, he's very aggressive at the point of attack. It's a lot better than I would expect. I thought he would just get caught on these, but he's looked pretty good for the most part. And I think this clip is going to showcase where I think his defensive ability is going to shine the most. So there's a lot of like, if he's going to be picked on, if he's an isolation defender, I think that's still a question mark of whether he's going to be able to handle that. But in terms of where he should be on the defensive side of the ball, it looks very, very good. And I think it probably comes from him on the offensive side of the ball, knowing how to manipulate defenses. So he kind of knows where he should be on defense, right? So this situation, this pick and roll for the Mavs, Knicks are going to do the same thing as the first clip where they're going to send two onto Dinwiddie, right? So here, send two, Shaman and Cat go guard Dinwiddie. And what that means is Kai Jones is going to be open as a roller, right? So Kolek here is the tag defender. He has to tag Kai and then just not let this pass go through. And you're going to see him do that perfectly. Here, takes Kai on. And he's not going to react too much to go back to Christie until he actually sees this pass being made. Otherwise, if he leaves early, this could be a wide open layup for Jones.
Yeah.
But he just sits on it until the pass is actually made, recovers, and look at that. He stops the drive on that closeout, right? So that's good individual defense. Again, he gets screens, gets over the screen well, good double by OG, forces a turnover, right? But just knowing where to be and knowing to sit there until the pass is made is just good defense that I think he actually has. Now, the one-on-one stuff, I think we just need more tape on. But in terms of knowing where to be, I think he has a solid fundamentals of being in the right spot. So here, look at OG. This is the same situation we showed earlier where this is a double tag pick and roll, right? So OG's a tagger and then Kolek's the second tagger. Here, OG tags Kai Jones first, but he's actually going to recover and leave to go to Najee Marshall. And what that means that Kai Jones is now Kolek's responsibility, right? If it's not OG, someone has to take someone has to take Kai Jones, and Kolek's in the right spot again just to cover Kai Jones. Now, once Jones passes it out, OG's going to recover to Najee, and then Kolek's going to make a really long closeout all the way out to Christie and just get the stuff. But again, like effort, the closeout's there, one-on-one defense, screen nav, it looks a little better than I would expect, but also just being in the right position, being in the right spots to make sure that it's not easy to just get an open layup by manipulating the defense. I think that's going to be where he's going to be maybe a positive on defense, but I don't think he's going to be a net negative on defense.
Sure.
Which is very promising.
Yeah. No, well, you certainly saw, from his ball pressure to how he's getting through the screens. I mean, the effort is definitely there. And I agree with you, just having that point guard mindset probably helps him a lot in off-ball situations, just knowing how the offense is trying to dictate things and obviously exploit him as the weakness there. But you did see some anticipation skills and good timing in terms of just not getting too jumpy, not overreacting to things, but still closing out with force and aggression. And those are things that he's going to have to do to stay out on the court. As you said, the one-on-one defense, we'll have to see how that plays out. Certainly as he gets more experience and gets bigger and grows into his NBA frame, he should be able to be a bit more formidable there. But yeah, so far so good in these clips. Just rewind this one a little bit. I just want to go back to the closeout where he leaves Jones and closes out on the shooter. Okay, so in this frame here, right, when they talk about Xing out the weak side, is it the conscious effort by Kolek to run out on Christie, or where is Karl Anthony Towns in the right spot here, or just because Kolek has probably a better chance of closing out on the shooter?
Probably not. I mean, there are different ways you can do this, right? Cat could be the one that goes out and closes out, or Cat can be a little bit more intentional of getting back onto Kai Jones. Because if Cat's a little more intentional getting back, then Kolek has an extra second or a second and a half to close out first, right? But there's just Cat's a little bit misplaced, which makes this Kolek's closeout, which makes Kolek's closeout a little bit longer as well, right? But yeah, definitely like Cat could take it, or Cat can just come back onto Kai Jones a little quicker.
Yeah, there you go. Well, certainly requires a lot of communication, man, to get these guys on the same page, especially when you're playing with Karl Anthony Towns out there. No disrespect to the big bodega, but come on, man. You got to have a lot of good communication out there. But hey, certainly good, learning experience for Tyler Kolek on the job. And these are the end of the clips, right?
Yep.
Well, what did you think about the whole dynamic now? You got Delon Wright being added into the mix. What did you thought about that this week?
I thought he played well. My preference was still to have Hart run the point.
Okay.
I know I've been saying it a lot, but I think my perspective is once the playoffs come around, the rotation is going to shrink. You're going to have the starters in with Brunson back. And then in those situations, you kind of want different looks. I think one of the looks that could have been really interesting to explore is more of Hart on ball.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that's going to be happening now, which is fine. Like we explored a lot of like Mikhail on ball, a lot of OG on ball, which both have been great.
Yeah.
And those have to continue when Brunson get back. But yeah, that was still good to see.
Yeah. Well, hey, you never know. Maybe that is a wrinkle or an adjustment that Tibbs goes to in the playoffs. Like, for example, when they had the Cleveland series, one of their breakthroughs was going to those guard screens off ball, utilizing Josh Hart a lot. That was 2 years ago, not last year, but 2 years ago. That was one of the ways that they were able to kind of crack through against the Cavs. So maybe that is a wrinkle in a little wild card in Tibbs' pocket, if you will.
Yeah, definitely possible. And as you said, he's done it before.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job, bro, once again. Let the people know where they can find you. And great job, man.
Thank you. Yeah, just on Twitter at Bellio1. I have most of my stuff over there.
Yeah, there you go, man. So good people in the chat. If you guys have recommendations, you guys have requests. Well, he's like the DJ, man. Send him a message, drop him an ad on Twitter, DM him, let him know what you guys want to see. Hey, maybe we do an OG reel. OG's on fire. We could go another Macau reel. Maybe a potential first-round matchup reel coming up. So let us know, man. KFTV Court Vision featuring Bailey Lau. Like, share, and subscribe. Salute to the replay gang. Bailey, great job again. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.